evolved as one of the major factor which is utilizable now, and that would bring in automation, right? Internet of Things basically is a pattern where devices which are embedded with various types of the sensors are connected together, and a network of these devices is being created, right? And then there is an exchange of the data. In this, there is constant analysis of the data, there is constant utility of the data which is generated over here with these. So Internet of Things basically act as the network of things or the physical objects which are embedded with sensors, actuators or other types of the things, and the objective of this physical network or the overall network of these physical things is exchange and manipulation of the data. When exchange and manipulation of the data starts with the things, objects, various different types of the objects, then of course their utility can be generated over the network, or they can be manipulated with the network, or they can be utilized with the network itself. That's why Internet of Things act as one of the major tool where the basic objects, that is the things which things, when we say, then things can be all the physical objects that we see, right? They can be vehicles, they can be machines, they can be devices, right? All these devices can be either household devices, these devices can also be the industrial devices, right? When these devices which are placed in a close proximity are connected together in such a way that data can be transmitted between them from device number 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, a network of them can be connected. When it is being created, that becomes the Internet of Things, right? That becomes Internet of Things. Basically, this is also not the Internet of Things. This is one part of Internet of Things. When devices are connected together, one machine can provide data to the other, or one machine can receive data from other also. Whenever there is transmission of the data between machines and devices, this becomes machine to machine communication, M to M. Now, with these, there can be certain devices which can help to connect this holistic system, machine to machine communication, over the physical layers, over the application layers, over the link layers of internet, such that these machines can gain data from the internet, and these machines can also give data to the internet. That means they can receive any form of we can say command, and they can report to a particular command, right? When they can receive a command from the internet and they can report to a particular command, right? That becomes a holistic network where we can have Internet of Things being established, right? So when physical objects are connected together, that becomes machine to machine communication. And when these machine to machine communication abled things or objects are brought to the internet based networking, right? They are being placed to the internet based networking such that they can be manipulated with the help of the internet itself from the remote locations, or commands can be given to these objects from the remote location. That becomes Internet of Things. So precisely when we try to understand, Internet of Things is nothing but just the overall utilization of objects, physical objects, with the help of internet signals. The basic component of the Internet of Things, when we try to understand, then the Internet of Things, when we understand, then Internet of Things have three major components and a constant interaction between them. Things, the first component of Internet of Things are the things with networked sensors. That means the home, vehicle, objects, all of these, even humans, which can have a wearable computer over here. They can also be the party to this Internet of Things, right? Then these are those which can connect to different types of the data stores. That is the second component. The data stores are the second component where large amount of the data can be available. Model analysis, text, videos, images, all different forms of the data is available in this, right? The third component is the analytic engine that helps to analyze the data and feed information to these sensors or these objects, and this constantly appear, right? This constantly appear. That's what we have seen, that things with sensors, they can receive the data and they can report to the data. They can receive the data, they can receive the command over here, they can report to a particular command over here. In this way, a particular structure is being created where when things are connected together, this is M2M, machine to machine communication. Internet of Things is beyond this, where in Internet of Things, not only machines are communicating with themselves, the other part of Internet of Things or other part of this complete structure is relative to the data storage and analytics also, right? This is a constant process. This data storage, integration of the data is a constant process. We continuously keep on analyzing the things and we constantly generate new and new factors relative to the data. Like for example, if you understand, if you are using a particular device, or if you are we can say you are using Google, right? Just simple understanding, you are using Google on a particular mobile phone. Now your Google account is linked to your mobile phone, your Google account is linked to your laptop, is also linked to your Google Assistant, that we say simply. Now you search for various things over Google, right? You search for booking an appointment with the doctor, right? That is one simple thing that we understand. Now we need to book up an appointment for the doctor. Now that command is being given to Google. Google is searching for this, which doctor, where. All these commands are being taken up by the end user only. The end user would respond to all those commands, which doctor, which type of the doctor, which area, what time, which date, which day, which person. All of these are certain feedbacks which are required, and they will all be filled by the end user, right? By you only. Now this is one way. Second way is you ask your Google Assistant, okay Google, book an appointment. Okay, which appointment? Appointment for a doctor. Okay, where? In this area. When? In this area. Now this command is being given to a particular machine. Now rest of all the things are being taken up by machine. Now machine connects with the telephone, right? Contacts different types of the doctors that they have, book an appointment, get a feedback and report to the command which is being given. This is the second part. This is Google Assistant 3.0, which is now available in the market also, right? In various ways. So what is this? Now the object, which is a thing, a smart speaker, right, has taken the commands and then has, through the different communication line with the network or from the internet itself, has made phone calls. That can be voice over internet protocol or VoIP phone calls, or other types of the phone calls have been made. Those phone calls were made to connect with the appointment. Now that appointment connection can also be machine to machine connection, that your Google Assistant will connect to other person's Google Assistant if available, or it would again have an interaction with the human also at the other end. Hi, I am calling from this place, I want an appointment, which date, all that would be taken care by the Google Assistant, and after some time Google Assistant would respond, okay, appointment is booked for this date, this doctor, this time. What is this? The commands are being provided, the data is being provided. Once the data is being provided, the Google would constantly look up to this. Now this is one aspect of it, gone on the things. Now you have came back and you have given a command to the Google, okay fine Google, I have an appointment with the doctor. Now he said that I must revisit in next 7 days. Fine. Now Google would analyze everything. Now it has taken the command, it would analyze everything. Now what is the analysis? This command is the analysis. In the next 7 days we have to provide a reminder, right? So that would also mean that the next 7 days I have to, or on the 6th day I have to book an appointment with the doctor, right? What is this? So now Google Assistant will take care of this. It would call the doctor on the 6th day that I want an appointment for tomorrow, this particular time, and at the other end the Google Assistant would also tell the end user that okay, you have an appointment with the doctor tomorrow at this particular time because you need to revisit the doctor in 7 days, right? Now it will keep on giving those commands, it will keep on giving those commands, it will keep on giving reminders, it will keep tracking the information related to appointment, right, etc, etc. What is this? This is data analysis. This is data analysis, that the machine itself has analyzed the things based on a command, simple command which was given, that appointment with the doctor and revisit on this particular day. That's it, right? Based on all these commands, the things have been taken care by the machine itself, by the internet itself, or the internet or the machine enabled with the internet itself, right? This is, so the second component of Internet of Things is your data, storage of the data, as well as the analytics of the data, so that the machines can themselves generate the command, right? Machines can themselves generate the command. So what actually happens in Internet of Things, how Internet of Things functions? Internet of Things basically functions by connection of many devices, that is device to device connection is established in Internet of Things, right, which is machine to machine communication, also connection of many devices together, right? IoT devices, IoT enabled devices, IoT connectivity, Internet of Things connectivity, specific sensors are being created so that they can maintain those protocols which are required for Internet of Things, and embedded intelligence is present with the devices. That intelligence is to analyze the data, and that, or to send in the data for analysis, or to connect up to the internet itself, right? The second part that happens with Internet of Things is data sensing. We capture data, the sensors and tags storages are being taken up, right? We capture the data, we provide tags, and then store the data. That happens with data sensing. The third thing that appears over here is data analytics, right, or data communication. That also appears, focuses on access of the network, cloud, edge, data transport. That all is also relative to the data, collection of the data, or retrieving the data, or generating a complete set of the data itself, right, or transport the data. So device connection, sensing, communication, communicate to a particular server, right? That server may be based on a cloud also. That server may be based on a cloud also. So over here, cloud-based processes can be created. On the cloud, we can generate a data analytics, that is big data analysis. Big data analysis is when we have a large amount of variable data which is flowing through at a large velocity and which is quite volatile. Analyzing that data and analyzing the trend of that data, mine that data, analyze the trend, understand different arithmetics out of that data. AI and cognitive artificial intelligence is based on this only. We analyze the data and we generate the response to the different factors of the data. Analysis at the edge. Edge computing is also generated, which is generated at the network, right? We have spoken of this in the last session also. In this session, edge, AI, etc., big data, all of this we'll discuss also, right? We'll generate a value out of the data. Data value is created. Analysis to action, right? What actions are required that analysis would be done? Okay, the data is, we have to revisit in 7 days, but what action has to be taken? The action is on the 6th day we have to call the doctor again, right? Application integration, application program integration and processes are being taken. Actionable intelligence is generated with the machines. What is actionable intelligence? The actionable intelligence is at what time I must call, right? What should be the suitable call time, what should be the suitable date, all of this, when the action is to be taken up. And then the human value is being provided in Internet of Things. Human value would mean that the overall thing is being generated for the service of the human welfare, or for the services of the requirements of the humans. The human needs can be sufficed. That has been taken up over here. So smart appliances, stakeholder benefits, tangible benefits, they are all being taken up over here. So in totality, we understand device connection and connectivity is one thing with Internet of Things. The second thing is device data sensing and collecting and storage is second thing. The third thing is data transport and access, transport the data to a point where it can be analyzed, it can be processed. Fourth, data analytics, process the data over a particular cloud maybe, right? or over a particular server, process the data, analyze the trend, then data value defined by action, take up an action based on the data which is being provided, and then create different types of the applications, different types of the devices, smart devices, etc. They can be created. That is meant by Internet of Things, right? So overall, Internet of Things, or the basic concept of Internet of Things, will have the key things, or the key concept of Internet of Things are hardware, the machines, sensors, actuators, embedded programs, different types of the applications, or application program integration has been driven over here, so that these devices or the IoT devices, they have their own set of protocols and programs which are being given, that helps to connect with other devices and also helps to connect with the network. Security. The security layer is being created so that any breach in the connectivity, or any breach in the data transfer, or any breach in the data communication is not being driven over here. Networking and cloud integration, integrating the devices with the cloud-based servers. That's what we have seen, that data analytics or the data utility would only be driven when there would be a cloud integration. The cloud-based services are being created. Data analytics and prediction, analytics over the cloud itself, by the server itself, right? That would also be driven over here. And machine learning and artificial intelligence is generated with continuous trends which are being analyzed, with data mining, with understanding trends. We analyze, data analysis is being driven, where the values relative to data are being generated. This particular value means this particular action. This type of the data means this type of the action is being learned by the machine. And based on this, deep learning is generated, which is the analytics based algorithm, right? When we have analyzed the data, we have understood the value of the data, and based on that understanding of the data itself, we generate the algorithm. That algorithm would be the commands which are being given to the machines. So we create that algorithm for the different types of commands which can be given to different types of the machines for different types of the actions to be taken up. So machine learning and artificial intelligence again become one of the important aspect of it. So these are the basic tools or basic concepts which are required, which are associated with Internet of Things, right? Now, when we try to understand this thing, Internet of Things basically will have sensors and devices, the connectivity, the user interface which is being created, at what point the applications, programs and their integration would be created, data processing. These are all the basic components of Internet of Things, that is sensors, devices, connectivity, processing, and ultimately the user interface which is generated, right? When we try to understand the basic meaning of Internet of Things, then thing is the asset you want to control or monitor, the device that you want to control or monitor. Data acquisition module is acquiring the physical signal and convert to a digital, right? We give a physical signal and convert it to digital, and then vice versa can also happen. Digital signal is converted to the physical by the actions of the machines, right? Data processing module in Internet of Things is the computer to process data, perform analytics, store data locally, and other edge computing methods can be generated. So ultimately what we are doing, over the network we have generated a large amount of data, we analyze that data, we analyze that data, generate the actionable things or actionable values out of that particular data, and then give the command to the machine that you have to work this, or you have to work for this. That becomes one aspect of it, and then the machine respond to it, to the action which are being given, to the commands which are being given. It reports to the command, it gives a feedback to the command. Machine becomes self-efficient, right? That machines can get the data, can now also generate the data themselves. Two things can happen, right? We have given commands, machine have understood this is the action, and next time we need not to give the command, machine will take the action itself. That is the machine learning or artificial intelligence. That is also one aspect of Internet of Things. Communication module, where communicate with third-party systems either locally or on the cloud itself. These are all where the data has been taken up to the cloud, processed, analyzed, or communicate with other local machines. This is also being generated. These are all the basic parties. These are all the basic components of Internet of Things, right? The basic architecture of Internet of Things is created where devices are connected together, right? These could be devices connect, or the actuator sensors, or the smart devices, right? That sends in the information to a particular gateway. And gateways are those platforms which are created in network to securely transmit the data, right? Securely transmit the data, or there are defined channels through the gateway. So a gateway has been created. From the gateway, there are cloud gateways which are being created for processing and storage of the data, right? That controls the data itself, the cloud-based systems, right? And then in those, there are control applications which are being created, where data processing, data sensing takes place. Then there is a big data warehouse which is being generated inside the cloud gateway. There is a big data warehouse which is being generated, where analysis of the data would take place, right? Which are connected to various web applications, mobile applications, etc. A user logistics is being created, or a user logic is being created through data analytics, machine learning models. All of this would also take place. So ultimately, the data flows in, is stored over the cloud, is given to data processing unit, right? It is being processed over here. There are control commands which are also generated over here, which can be given to the machines if required by the cloud gateway itself, right? Or is being stored and processed, analyzed at the big data warehouse, is learned, or the machine learns about the data. There are various models which are being generated out of this particular data, and it generates a particular logic. That logic can be applied over a web application or a mobile application, right? Ultimately, device administration, user administration, and security monitoring is being generated. Out of this, after all this, the gateway, it is connected to an output gateway. That at the other gateway, there would be another machine with sensors, actuators, and devices. So data is given from one machine, analyzed, stored, taken up into account, comes back, or is being assembled by a particular application or a program, comes back to this, right? What is the example for that, right? You have your mobile phone with you, right? And you connect, nowadays you try to switch on or switch off air conditioners. IoT empowered air conditioners are some of the best examples that we see right now, right? So you give a command on the web based application, logic is generated, big data is being created, that command system has been created, is being analyzed that okay, fine, every day 3 o'clock the AC is being turned on, at 5 o'clock it is turned off. That analysis is being generated, machine has learned this thing, right? And that helps to connect from your app. You help to connect, you give a command over here to your AC, which is being generated over the internet through the cloud services, right? This is the basic architecture. The cloud services, big data warehouse, machine learning, data analytics, mobile and web applications, models, etc. These are all data sensors. These are all the basic things which are being generated. In simple understanding, data is given, stored, analyzed, sensed, processed, analyzed, learned, models and logics are being generated, and the command is being processed to the other machine, where the commands of Internet of Things can be given, right? The basic networking tools which are used in Internet of Things, IoT technologies and protocols which are being utilized mostly to connect between the devices. We have seen this thing, Bluetooth help in machine to machine communication. Zigbee, we have seen this thing also, that helps in connection. Z-Wave is also, which is developed by Zensis, is also used in connection of the devices itself. Wi-Fi, right? The cellular networks, near field communication. LoRaWAN, this is a new connection which is generated over the radio waves only, right? There could be Ruby, which is also generated. These are all the major technologies based on which the communication between the network is generated, and the devices are connected together with these. Personal area network is created, and then they are connected to a local area network where we have the Wi-Fi, WLAN, right? Or the wired LAN can also be created over here, right? And then they are being connected to the wide area network itself. Once they come to the LAN, that means they have came down to the network unit itself. Rest we have all the things which are established for the network itself. So in this way, these are the major technologies which are being used in Internet of Things. When we look up to the basic utility which is being generated with the Internet of Things, there are multiple utilities which are being generated. There are multiple applications which are being generated. the large case user case of, or the use case of Internet of Things. The IoT applications involve development or establishment of smart homes, development of wearable devices, wearable computer devices, we'll speak about this also, smart cities, smart grids, industrial internet or industrial Internet of Things is also generated, right? Connected cars, the vehicles can be connected and they can be given commands, right? Connected health, smart retail systems, smart supply chains, smart farming system, all of these, they are the plethora of applications that can be generated with the help of Internet of Things. Precisely, Internet of Things and its use cases, when we try to understand, then the first and foremost use of Internet of Things that we can understand is when Internet of Things is used in education, right? Internet of Things is the most important aspect of it, where the connected application can be generated in the school-based education or any campus itself. For the delivery of education or for improvising the complete structure of education delivery, Internet of Things can be one aspect where networking can help in improvising the delivery of the education itself. It helps to generate interactive gaining of knowledge, right? Where machines can be brought in, computers can be brought in, and computers helps to provide various different sites of various different subsets where the data can be captured, utilized for understanding, manipulation, etc. Poster boards into IoT enabled devices can be created, right? Interactive boards can also be created which can be held over the internet or which can be connected with the internet, and information can be displayed over this. Learning at any time and anywhere, right? Digital learning platforms can be generated, e-learning platforms can also be generated over here. Superior safety features can be brought in over here, where the safety of the students is also required, where students can remain connected all the time. They can be tracked, they can be monitored, their activities can also be seen. That would also be one aspect of it. The chalkboards would go, there would be digital boards which can be brought in over here. The attendance monitoring system can also be taken up, where tracking up of the students would be there. Then where are the students in the campus, or what is the basic workability of the students, what is the basic workability of the teachers, how different security aspects are being created. Constant monitoring of them can also be utilized. We have seen this thing in RFID also. RFID helps to connect with the students and to create a classroom control system or the campus control system also, right? In this same way, IoT is the larger aspect of that. So when we try to understand the utility over here, in education, a cyber school can be created with the help of Internet of Things, right? A cyber school can be created, where in cyber school, smart school office can be one aspect of it, where the offices and the classrooms, they can be connected easily, so that the administration is in complete control of the classroom and of the classroom also till the student is in the campus. There could be connectivity. Second aspect of it could be, or the automation of the administrative processes can be generated. Learning management system or campus management systems can be brought in over here, which can help in automation of the administration also, right? That would be an improvement over here in the school administration or in the campus or the college administration also. We either write it school or campus or university, all of this is correct, right? Smart school transport, the transportation can be constantly linked, right? The buses can be linked to different ports where security of the students or the buses can be taken up, and all the students in the bus would also be tracked with the help of various sensors which can be connected, right? Then smart school building management, the building, their utilities, they can be managed. Ventilation, air conditioning, lighting, heating, water supply, movement of the students, right? All of these, they can be constantly monitored. So the buildings are not left standalone. Their constant monitoring is being taken up, right? Energy generation in these buildings, waste removal in these buildings, maintenance of the health and hygiene in these buildings, removal of any sorts of pollutants which are present over there in these buildings. These are all certain things which can be taken up in smart school building management, right? Then smart student health, That would also be one aspect of it. The student health can be constantly monitored, and that can be connected with the healthcare facilities, and the healthcare facilities and the sensors available with the healthcare facilities and devices and machines, they can also help in establishment of constant monitoring of the students' health, right? Then smart classrooms would be created, smart classrooms which should be enabled with various devices, where we can have projectors, we can have interactive boards, where the display of the information is more interactive, like the we have right now. This may not be the smart class, but we have an interactive session of it, right? Graphically they are being represented, right? Or diagram, rather than chalkboard or diagrams, we'll have more realistic models which are being displayed upon. There are proper speakers in the classroom so that everything is audible to the students, right? There are student response systems which are being created so that student can respond based on the questions or the queries which are being created by the teachers. That can be a smart classroom which can be generated, which is constantly linked, networked, interactive. Better devices are being created, or the better devices are being generated in this. That becomes the smart classroom. Then we have the smart STEAM labs. The laboratories, they can be connected. There could be proper sensors in the laboratories, understanding different types of the experiments which are being required. They can be enabled with the machines itself, with the computers itself, right? That can also be taken up. So researchers, or we can say laboratories, smart cafeteria, mini mart, etc., they can also be generated. The students can be constantly monitored in that area also, right? So that health and hygiene of the students can also be maintained, and the food quality can also be constantly monitored with the help of sensors, right? Student activity and their tracking in the campus. What is the student doing? Where is the student? Its security. What exactly is the overall location of the student? That can also be taken up. And student IoT project management. The complete teaching can be brought in over IoT tools or internet based tools, where in the learners management system there could be a constant connect with the students, right? There would be a complete cloud based scenario which is being created. We have seen in the cloud based scenario, the students can be given work over the cloud itself. The teachers can give their videos also. The teachers can also provide the feedbacks, where the parents are also connected, the administration is also connected. So there is a transparent interaction between the parent, student, and the teacher and the student also, right? So constant monitoring of the students' growth. The basic problems can be immediately understood and they can be sorted also. What is the problem in learning? What is the problem in teaching? The online resources or electronic resources can also be created, where books and resource materials, they can be made available over the internet itself, where it helps to understand or the interest and the understanding of the student can be increased, right? So that can also be one aspect of it. So in education, Internet of Things is quite useful, where things can be connected and the overall education based scenario can be made